to tonight's edition of Row for Now, where you talk to Row about things right now. Today, our guest star is Aubrey Richard, a student from University of the Arts, a photography major. Aubrey, come on out with us.
Hi, it's actually Aubrey Ritchie, not Richard, just so you know. We might have to edit that out.
Oh yeah, we can take that in editing. So we got it there. Aubrey, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, it's actually spelled R-I-C-H-E-Y. No T, no I-E.
All right, we'll fix that right now. All right, Aubrey, thanks so much for coming on the show.
It says Aubrey Richard. It's okay.
We'll just get that. We'll just get that later. Most important, you're here with us. Thank you so much, Aubrey, for coming on the show.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, we're so delighted. So, you're here to tell us about what?
My senior thesis. It's a body of work that I've been working on for a year almost.
Wow, that's interesting. So, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, its title is Fair Ruler of the Little People, which is also the meaning behind my first name, Aubrey. And I chose this title not only for that reason, but also because I felt it fit my work. So my work, particularly this body of work, Fair Ruler of the Little People, is a series of images that documents my life spent with loved ones, my boyfriend, his daughter, and my younger sister. I've been documenting my younger sister's life, her entire life, and so there was always like a kid around me, because we're like 8 years apart, and I just kind of gravitated towards documenting her through photography my whole life. And then when she turned around 18, when you're a legal adult, I met my boyfriend, and he happened to have a daughter, and then I documented my life with them too, and there's just always been this kid in my life, and I'm documenting that experience through photography. And
we call that kid hopping.
So yeah,
All right. Well, I'm going to interrupt you. Let's get to the pictures. That's the most important part, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a look here. Let's keep the program going. Here we have a picture of a young boy man standing upside down. Tell me a little bit about that one.
Yeah. So that one's pretty simple, actually. That's my boyfriend. The story behind that is we were taking pictures, or I was attempting to take pictures. His daughter wasn't really in the mood. Your face. His daughter wasn't in the mood to be photographed, which is a challenge I happened to stumble upon a lot in this project, actually. Not just with her, but with my sister too. My boyfriend's a little bit better about being...
Let's take a look at her. Is this her right here?
No, that's... oh yes, that's... The one on the left is my boyfriend's daughter, and she's shown here in this picture with her friend screaming in a field, and the only way that I could get her photograph this day was to bribe her by saying, if I let you scream at the top of your lungs, will you let me take a picture? And being a kid, she wants to scream at the top of her lungs, because that's not usually
Of course
allowed.
they do. God knows I'd like to do that too sometimes.
So I photographed it, and before that happened, my boyfriend noticed that everyone was kind of denying photos, so he said, I'll do a handstand for you. So that's how the handstand image
Sounds like a nice guy. A keeper, maybe.
He's cool.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, let's change it up. We've seen a couple pictures of some people. Let's take a look at this one here. It's got some other interesting things in it that we haven't seen any of the pictures so far.
Oh yeah, here is once again my boyfriend, but he's laying on the ground with dollhouse furniture. There's a few images in my thesis that are similar to this, with the childlike props kind of thrown in there, and to me they represent like themes of looking back to the past and growth, and it just kind of is something on your pants.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just keep going along.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm also just really visually compelled to include these toy objects in my work. They kind of fall into my life naturally. Maybe it's because there's always a kid around, but maybe it's not. And I like to include them. it goes along with the aesthetic style or genre of my work. I think my genre is kind of documentary, but with a twist where I am documenting, but I'm also staging and directing, so it's not so true to real life, but it's more so based on real life.
Neat. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break.
So is this like when the commercials play? Right. This is empty. Could I maybe get...
And we're back. Thank you for tuning in for Row for Now. For those of you who are just joining us, we're here with Aubrey Ritchie. She's a photography student at the University of, Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts.
No, it's actually the University of the Arts.
Yeah, one of those in the Philadelphia region there, yeah. And she's telling us a little bit about her photography senior thesis. Aubrey, why don't we, where we left off, we were looking at some pictures of some sort of childhood tones. And here we have one with, I think somebody that you mentioned before. I think this one's of your sister. This is a really interesting photo. I really like the colors. I really like her. Tell me a little bit about it.
So this is my sister, and the backstory behind this image is a great example of what I mean by staging my images and based on real life, but not actually real life. Me and my sister were just driving around in our hometown, and we stumbled upon these 3 primary colored Volkswagen Beetles, and I thought they were visually compelling, and then I realized I didn't have my camera with me, so I drove back home to get it, and then drove back to the scene and had my sister stand in front of it for a portrait, and it's a simple story, but that's how this came to be, and that's how I direct a lot of my photos. I'll see something and I'll have to make an image out of it, and
Interesting. So before you get down the rabbit hole on that one, just answer me this question straight, please. Is this picture candid or staged?
I would say it is a staged candid.
Now that's super interesting to me, because I'd look at that and I'd say that's a candid picture. I'd see that girl walking down the street.
I do like to have my images appear as if they could be candid. Ultimately, I would like for my viewers to not even know and just kind of live in the world of my images, and I like them to feel a little whimsical and dreamy, and maybe that's why they're not actual candid moments, because real life isn't so whimsical and dreamy, but I like to take the parts that are and recreate them.
Now that's just neat. That sounds really neat. All right, well, let's keep looking at some pictures here. How about this one here? We got a whole bunch of people here. We got the whole crew. Let's take a look at that one here.
Oh yeah.
So tell me everybody that's in this picture.
So this is the whole crew. This is my boyfriend, his daughter, my sister, and their dog, and this is actually the only candid photo in my thesis.
Interesting. Follow-up to the question that I had just asked.
So I do include some candid moments, but they are not all candid. This one is candid, however.
You wouldn't know it.
And behind all of them is my childhood treehouse, which happened to fall down this summer. And
Oh, I'm so sorry.
okay, and my my boyfriend was it's alright. Yeah, my boyfriend was chopping wood, and they were all just kind of hanging out for a campfire, and I captured the moment, and I don't even think they knew I was taking a picture, which is always nice.
Oh, that's really neat. Let's take a look at this one here. We got 2 really handsome individuals. Here, tell me a little bit about these ones.
That's just my boyfriend and my sister. I kind of tried to create like a tender, but a little bit like awkward moment of him playing with her hair.
I'd be careful about the 2 of them. And let's keep on rolling here. We got this last one. I like to call this one ketchup and mustard. What do you call it?
That's just called Emily blowing bubble.
Oh.
Which is basically all that's happening, but I was drawn to the colors in the background. I like a very pure saturated colors. I have a very distinct color palette of childlike colors, primary.
Yeah, I saw that in the photo with the cars.
Yeah, so that's something I'm drawn to and keep exploring in my work. I definitely stay consistent to my palette.
Well, Aubrey, that's so interesting. You certainly have a style. It's certainly unique, and we certainly love having you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yup, anytime. All right, so next week we actually have a person coming on who's going to talk about birds. So this is a nice segue into the next show. Aubrey, thanks so much for coming. Why don't you have yourself a good night, okay? And be safe out there during the COVID crisis, all right?
All right, thank you.